Well, this afternoon I met Union Minister Hardeep Puri in his house, and I had a longish chat with him on the Epstein files. And I thought I'll begin tonight with a view that I have on Hardeep Puri and the Epstein files. Is it really a story? Is there something you can accuse Hardeep Puri of? Has Hardeep Puri done anything wrong? Is Hardeep Puri guilty? Or is this an attempt at just putting the Hardeep Puri, Jeff Epstein name together in some way to embarrass the government in the parliament session? Why did Hardeep Puri go all out in the press conference yesterday? Where does Hardeep Puri stand on the matter? And let me begin by saying one thing, ladies and gentlemen. I have done many interviews. And when I do interviews, even more than what the person is saying, I observe the person's body language, their behavior, how they conduct themselves, how their eyes move, whether their arms are crossed, whether the person is looking nervous, whether the person is putting up an act. So I was observing Hardeep Puri very closely as well when I was interviewing him. And my clear and absolute verdict is this. And I want to start with my verdict and then I'll explain. Hardeep Puri is not guilty. I'm saying this clearly. You may say I'm sticking my neck out. Yes, I am. Hardeep Puri cannot be linked to Epstein in the way the opposition is trying to. To do so is to run a campaign by innuendo. To do so is an attempt to try and indirectly blackmail an individual without substantial proof against him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be absolutely clear about one thing. Hardeep Puri was in New York for many years. For some time as India's ambassador in the United Nations, and even before that as a private citizen. Now the question is this. Has Hardeep Puri denied meeting Jeff Epstein? No. If he had denied, and it was found out that he knew Jeff Epstein, you could charge him as guilty of hiding some evidence. He has not denied meeting Jeff Epstein. He has not denied knowing Jeff Epstein. He has not denied emailing Jeff Epstein. He's saying that I knew him. I networked with him. I tried to coordinate with him to meet certain Silicon Valley individuals like the CEO of LinkedIn. And he says clearly, go into the content of what I have done. I have not denied the emails. Look at the content, look at the context, and find out anything guilty that I can be accused of. There is a certain murky environment in which you talk about Jeff Epstein today. The charges are terrible. Sexual exploitation, pedophilia, and things like that. Can you, even by the wildest stretch, link Hardeep Puri to that? Absolutely not. What is Hardeep Puri's fault? Hardeep Puri's fault, and I have been through the emails, and I want to let you know that I don't pass judgment just like that. I have no angle in this. I have no interest. Hardeep Puri writes a mail to Jeff Epstein, of which he says there is only one substantive mail. There are many mentions, in which he appears to me to be networking with him. And this is before he was made a union minister in the Modi government. He is trying to coordinate a meeting with the chief of LinkedIn. He's pushing the India story in a mail to Jeff Epstein that he writes on 14th November 2014, in which he says, Jeff/Reed, Jeff, I briefed you on my discussions with Reed in Silicon Valley on 3rd October. In the same email, these are the words and this is the push that he is writing about, and you should all read these mails. He says that SoftBank is investing $10 billion in the Indian e-commerce space. He says that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's focus is to revive the Indian economy. He says that there is a lot we are doing to make in India. He says India has 200 million internet users. He says that the digital infrastructure rollout plan is top of the priority list for the Modi government. So what can you accuse? What can you substantially accuse Hardeep Puri of? You can at the most say he is overselling the India pitch. What is wrong with that, I say? What is wrong if a proud Indian is pushing the India case in 2014? The content, therefore, must be specified. You can no longer do innuendo and say, oh, did you know Jeff Epstein? Did you write to Jeff Epstein? Yes. He says, I knew Jeff Epstein. I wrote to Jeff Epstein. And at that point of time, he says, I would like to come across for a chat. Apart from giving you some books to excite an interest in India, give me a shout when you are back. Now, the fact here is you can accuse him of being informal in his tone in his mails with Jeff Epstein. That is the most you can accuse Hardeep Puri of. You cannot accuse Hardeep Puri of any other association with Jeff Epstein that in any form is a moral or cognizable offense. And I am absolutely sure if anybody writes out here, if Mr. Hardeep Puri, if Jeff Epstein emails Lawrence Summers and invites him to his New York house, saying in my Sunday at house, so-and-so may join too if you have any interest, and Hardeep Puri's name comes up there, the question is, where is the exact wrongdoing which can be proven anywhere as far as Hardeep Puri is concerned? Ladies and gentlemen, on a particular day, a person called Leslie Groff writes, good morning, Hardeep. Jeffrey is in New York today and hopes you could see you if you have time to come to his home. And I asked Hardeep Puri, why were you in touch with Jeff Epstein? Now, Hardeep Puri said to me at that point of time, he said very, very clearly that I was in touch with Jeff Epstein because Jeff Epstein was very much a member of New York society. He says he was a very prominent member of New York society. Now, the mistake Hardeep Puri may have made is that by 2008, Jeff Epstein had also he had pleaded guilty to charges of solicitation of prostitution with a minor, and was sentenced to 18 months in a minimum security facility, which means that he had been, drenched in muck, and he had come out. By 2013, 14, 12, 13, 14, Jeff Epstein had managed to put that behind him. He had come out, and he had re-established himself in New York society and was a link man to various businesses. What is at the most you can accuse Hardeep Puri of at this time? You can accuse Hardeep Puri of using Jeff Epstein to network with people from Silicon Valley, from the tech world, and hope to use the connection with Jeff Epstein to build an influence circle in American business circles. That is what you can potentially accuse Hardeep Puri of. Can you accuse Hardeep Puri of anything more than that? I challenge anyone to prove it. If they have the proof for that, if they come out and they say, we have the proof that this is the specific wrongdoing that he has done, then they should come public with it. What I disagree with is this nudge, wink approach, which, in my view, can be described as some sort of soft political blackmail here. For example, Hardeep Puri says that around the last week of November 2025, on the sidelines of Samvidhan Divas, he says, Rahul Gandhi came across to me and he said something. He said, your name is in interesting places. Your name is in interesting places. Now, if that was a reference by Rahul Gandhi to his name being in quote-unquote Epstein files, then Rahul Gandhi should share where he had this information from. And if he had this information, and Rahul Gandhi genuinely believes that he has the content to specifically accuse Hardeep Puri of a specific wrongdoing, then that has to be made substantial. Hardeep Puri says that when he made that point, he actually sent a note across to Rahul Gandhi, giving the full facts of the case. So Rahul Gandhi knows the full facts of the case, but has thrown this in just around the time of the parliament session to, as they say, muddy the waters. But ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to my most critical point. We have an ongoing budget session of parliament. Is it the job of the leader of the opposition to simply muddy the waters and get away? This, therefore, becomes the politics of blackmail, the politics of innuendo, which is inappropriate. Now, I shall not say more on this, but my verdict is absolutely clear. I have seen all the emails. I have seen the correspondence. I don't know whether there are further emails or further correspondence. From the emails that I have seen, the most you can accuse Hardeep Puri of is a social association with Jeff Epstein. Nothing more, nothing less. This is my verdict. If there is more information which comes out, I'm willing to see that information. As of now, a social association. Perhaps you can say, Mr. Puri, you should have been a little more discreet in having links with a man who had a bad past. But, ladies and gentlemen, as far as Hardeep Puri, the minister, is concerned, the public figure is concerned, I have found nothing more than that. Rest, beyond this, I request you to see my interview with Hardeep Puri. I want you to judge for yourself whether in the eyes of the man, the words of the man, the body language of the man, the tone and tonality of the man, you find the slightest tinge of guilt. I found a lot of aggression. I found a lot of anger. I could not trace the slightest tinge of guilt. Is my reading right? You judge for yourself.